Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am excited to have us talk to Christina Flach, and let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a makeup artist and the CEO and founder of Pretty Girl Makeup. Her celebrity clientele includes Condoleezza Rice, Hilary Swank, Isaiah Washington, Melissa McCarthy, Rita Moreno, Renee Zellweger, Tyler Florence, and many, many more. She has worked with high-end brands such as Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and featured in campaigns for Macy's, Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bloomingdale's, and has been featured in magazines including Vogue, Time, People, and Elle. She also writes articles with her best tips, tricks, and hacks in the makeup, and is featured as an expert on the California Live show on NBC. So today we're going to talk about how do we be the best version of ourselves. So be the best version of yourself. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Christina Flach. Christina, so excited to talk with you.
Hi, how are you? I'm excited to be here.
Yes. You know, some people might think, well, Vicki, you talk about leadership, you talk about all things business, but you remember, I also talk about my anti-aging business and wellness. And I also say that if what's keeping you from getting on live, doing these videos to help your business is the way you look, the way you feel, then I'm going to be here to connect you with people that can help. And Christina is a person that can help you. So today we're going to just, again, talk about everything that we need to know about being the best version of ourselves. We start with an easy question always, Christina, and that is first to ask, where do you call home?
I live in Healdsburg, California.
California, girl. I spend a lot of time in California and
Nice.
love it there. So let us, you know, I gave all those wonderful accolades of
Thank you so much. Very
who
kind.
you are now. But, you know, I'd like to just dig a little deeper and remind people that we didn't start out where we are today from the beginning. So talk a little bit about what your journey was like that took you from that young, fresh-eyed Christina with just great insights as to what they wanted to do to where you are today.
You're right. It did not start out with working with a bunch of celebrities. I started out on friends and family, and then started weddings, and then photographers saw my work. And so I started working with different photographers. And then I was blessed enough to get enough images together to get a portfolio to get an agent. And so I did a lot of photo shoots, and so sorry about that. I did a lot of photo shoots, and a lot of times it was for no money at all. It was for trade. And so I didn't say no to any projects. I just thought, if I work really hard, do the best I can, hopefully they'll hire me again for, getting paid. And so that is what happened. But I certainly, getting celebrities is not the easiest thing. The first one's always the hardest. That's for certain. And then once you start getting a reputation and your portfolio, then it's a lot easier. So But I think if you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. And I know people say that, but it's true. Like I am always super grateful and excited to be selected to go work with, different clients and on different TV shows. It doesn't get old seeing my work out in the world. I turned on Bloomberg yesterday, and one of my shoots was on, one of the interviews was live. So that was pretty cool. And, I last week was at another Bloomberg event with all these at a tech conference in San Francisco. And there was Whitney Wolf was there, and she is the creator and founder and CEO of Bumble, the dating app. And she was one of the people that I did in Elle magazine a lot, 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so it was great to see her. So that's what's fun, to be able to see these people after, some years, and, to have those experiences. It's really nice.
So what led you to becoming a makeup artist, though? Was that always, were you that high schooler that was always experimenting with makeup? Or, what led you to that?
I think I love, I remember working on my mom, and my mother had stage 4 brain cancer, and she was going out on a date with my dad. And I said, "Oh, Mom, let me do your makeup." I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have very many makeup skills, and she didn't have much makeup, but miraculously, we got her looking like the best version of her at the time, and feeling. And so when I speak about looking like the best version of yourself, it's also about how looking like the best version of yourself makes you feel on the inside. You're a lot more confident. And I find that when I'm not distracted looking on a Zoom, or, going into a meeting, when I'm feeling like, oh God, look, I have dark circles, I have acne, I look exhausted, it's a lot easier to just focus on the meeting, because I'm feeling good about myself and confident. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. We are all visual. It's not a superficial thing. We're just all visual beings. And so I think if you're going to put your best foot forward with your work ethic, how you walk in, how you present yourself, why wouldn't you want to look like the best version of yourself? So
I found early on in my career that on the days that I felt tired, sick, you didn't want to go and have everybody know that you were tired and sick. I didn't want to ever feel, and I think it came from, I started working in the 70s. And so we were always trying to compete against our male counterparts. And so I think my makeup and my styling was the best when I was sick, because I tried harder to.
That's true.
And therefore, as you said, because I felt like I got it right, I was much more confident in those meetings. And I didn't have people feeling like, oh, how are you today? Are you okay? It was like, nobody even knew you were sick, except if you had a stuffy nose or something like that. And I try to explain to people that, especially as a retiree, just because you're retired does not mean that you don't have to care about how you look and feel, because it does impact how you feel.
Oh, definitely. No, I think everyone should put their best foot forward, regardless of your age or where you are in life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think a lot of it is attitude. And I think, why wouldn't you want to be your best version of yourself? Yeah. I think you're setting it also, when you have children, I have 5 children. I want my kids to see me being the best version of myself, because I want them to go out into the world and be the best version of themselves. So I think, we can our kids they are little sponges. We can give lectures and everything, but they're really watching how we conduct ourselves, and, how we present ourselves to the world, and all of that. So I think it's all setting a good example. We want our kids to have healthy, happy relationships. Well, they need to see us having healthy, happy relationships, and, good work ethic. Well, if they see you with a good work ethic, or keeping your home clean, it's all, for me, I think it's just important. I want my kids to be the best that they can be. And I want them to be healthy and happy, and doing what brings them joy. I mean, that's all I can wish for them.
So I remember, and this goes back to your point about everybody's watching, I remember when I was just starting at 19, my first job, and I rode on a bus for an hour and a half. And there was this woman, and she was probably just in her early 30s, if that. And she every day went to work, and she just looked like she had it all together. And I watched her and started to try to emulate the things that she was doing, how she carried herself, not only the makeup and the outfits, but how she carried herself, not slunched over. I'm a tall woman, and so a lot of times you'll see a tall people kind of curl their shoulders and not really embrace their tallness. And she just was all that. And I thought, that's what I want to be. And I think that made the impression of me. And I never introduced myself to her. She
Isn't that
never knew
funny
who I
that
was.
she made, isn't that interesting? Now think about all these years that woman made that impact on you,
Yeah.
and she didn't even know it.
No.
So that's another thing. There's a song that sometimes you don't know that who's going to be watching you and seeing you smile. So we don't know, but it's super important. I feel that when you're going into a meeting that you feel good about yourself and what you're doing, and people's energy it's real, it's like people are inclined to work with me because I am always I arrive on time. I have a smile on my face. I do my job. I don't complain. And so people remember that.
Yeah.
And so I think it is an important thing. So
we talked about self-confidence and how we feel impacts that. But what are 3 areas that you would suggest to your clients to help them be able to focus on building that self-confidence?
Well, I think it's self-care is not selfish. I think it's very important. You can give more of yourself. You can be a better mother, parent, worker, everything when you've rested, you've exercised, you've had a little time to eat well, drink your water, exercise, think about things you're grateful for. So I think all those things help to make you be the best version of yourself.
And that goes back to leading by example too. If your kids or your coworkers seeing you not taking care of yourself, and I always like to use that airplane, that we've heard over and over,
the oxygen,
the oxygen thing, because it's so true. We tend to just help everyone else and don't see that our candle is burning out, and we need to replenish.
It's very true.
And what's sad too is I'm 66 and I see so many of my friends and co-workers, counterparts that have not done that, have not taken care of themselves. And they're so tired and they're so frustrated. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. No, it's very true. I think it's, as we age, I mean, I think a lot of I exercise every day, I go for a walk, go to Pilates, go hike, go to yoga. I watched this incredible documentary on Netflix about the blue zones. Are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
It was so interesting to see that they, did a study on these people that lived to be over 100. And it wasn't just living to be 100. It was feeling good, waking up with purpose, exercising. And all of them had the same thing. You didn't have to go do the hardest workout in the world. You needed to, work in your garden, walk to church, eat with your community, eat with your family. And it's all the things, having a positive attitude and purpose, retiring, they kept active. And I think it's I think it's really important to wake up with purpose and feel good about what you're doing and interested in the world. And I think the people that don't take care of themselves are going to have a really hard time aging, because you don't use your body it just starts breaking down and everything hurts. So I don't want to feel like that. So that's why it is important to me that I do all the things that I need to do to feel good physically as well as mentally.
Yeah. And I really think that when we talk about wellness and self-care and being the best version of ourselves, we have to think about the wellness part of it, the things that we put into our body, because to me, the makeup that we do is, we're just a canvas. And I think that's how I got into doing my makeup. Was I have an artistic background, and I just thought, this is like me just painting a portrait,
Right.
and finding what works and what blendings and things like that. And it kind of was fun. And, but if you're not taking care of the vessel, that the canvas, then it's going to be difficult for you to achieve what you want with any amount of makeup.
It's true. And I think, a positive attitude and a confident person is so much more attractive. People, energetically, it's not a joke. You make people feel good, or you leave them and they go, oh, she was really nice, or she was funny, she had good energy. That's all real stuff. And, no one wants to be around someone with a bad attitude or negative, or, not taking care of themselves. It's just the way life is. So I don't know. I think you can have a much healthier, happier, productive life if you take the time to get rest, to laugh, to exercise, to eat well. It takes a little bit of effort, like I go on set and there's all that craft food and I don't touch it. It doesn't exist for me. I bring my green juice, I bring my water, I bring tea, I bring, hard-boiled eggs, salad. I mean, I bring food that I can eat so I'm not hungry, and then I'm not going to go eat a candy bar because I know I'm not going to feel good. So especially I go on NBC now, and I'm a beauty expert on California Live. Who on earth is going to listen to me if I look like a disheveled mess? So I have other reasons why I have to take, some decent care of myself.
You're the walking billboard for your business.
Correct.
Yes. So we, for part of what I do is I help people be more engaging on video as part of my public speaking piece. And as I mentioned early on, there's a lot of people that shy away from this. So you have been working with celebrities and they have to be on camera, whether it be movies, TV, or whatnot. What kind of tips would you want to share with the audience of, if you're going to be in front of a camera with the lights and things, what type of makeup should you do to really be the best look that you have?
That is a really good question. So first thing, when you are going to be on a Zoom or TV or something, you want to make sure that the light is good. You want light like a window to be hitting your face, not your back to the light. So first of all, good lighting is everything. It really makes a huge difference.
Yes.
But also taking care of one's skin, keeping your skin hydrated, exfoliated gently, out of the sun. Sun damage is real and it can cause havoc on your skin. So it's super important to make sure that your skin is hydrated, under the eyes, especially concealer, filling in the brows, some nice natural looking eyeshadows and liner, a little bit on the cheeks and the lips. You just want to look, I think, especially in everyday life, you don't want your makeup to be distracting.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be so heavy that people are like not really listening to you, that they're just looking at you like going, wow, look at all that. So you want your makeup to be almost a non-factor. And that's what happens in some of the campaigns that I've worked on with a Gucci and a Louis Vuitton. They send very clear instructions from Europe that the makeup has to almost look like it's not there, because they want the focal point to be the fashion, not my work. So that's kind of a talent in itself and a skill of making people look like they have makeup on. I mean, that they look made up, but they don't have a lot of makeup on. So, doing that is, again, it helps a lot when people have good, flawless skin. And that's what I can make skin look flawless with, foundation, concealer, and not a ton of contouring and fake lashes. And
Yeah, I was going to ask about the fake lashes because it seems to be this trend that
they're
bigger
awful.
and it's like, oh my gosh, do you you're going to have your eyelids start to have a problem with the weight
It's
that you're putting
true.
on.
It's true. And it's not good for your lashes. It's just very heavy. They're fragile, those little lash hairs. So
Yeah.
it's a little much. So I just think that, like, when people are getting married, or if you think about when you look in ads in magazines or on TV, no one's makeup is really sticking out. So, all the fun stuff that people enjoy watching on TikTok and Instagram with the contouring and the baking and all that, everything, and the lashes, you don't see that in real life on TV, in a bag. So you want to just keep things look like the best version of you, but nothing so drastic that it's eye catching of like, wow, look at those lashes, and wow, blue eyeshadow. You don't want to see it. You just don't want to know. You want to think it's just, wow, that looks like a nice, like how your makeup is. It's tasteful. It's pretty. Nothing's distracting. I'm just like, wow, she looks really nice. Her hair looks pretty. Cheeks are fresh and dewy. You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. One of the things that I notice often whenever I've got the folks, besides their lighting being off, it's constant working with that. But a lot of ladies that don't use makeup, they don't love doing makeup. And that's always an interesting thing for me to deal with. But in this environment, as you were talking about the eyebrows, the lips, I think people forget that their face if you don't have lipstick on, even it doesn't have to be a bold red or whatever, it has to almost, again, have that frame. So your eyes, the person that's watching this video is looking at the things that count. So your mouth it matters with you want them to listen to you. So having that nice smile, and then also your eyes really attract and draw them in. So those of you that aren't using anything at all, think about that. I don't know if you want to add anything.
And then
to that.
also with when you go buy foundation, a lot of people it's really hard for them to pick. Do I want it lighter? Do I want it darker? How do I want it to be? And honestly, when you go, it's hard in a department store because the lighting is so off. It's really hard. So go over to the door of the store and have the light hit your face. And you want the foundation to disappear. You don't want it darker. You don't want it lighter. You want it to just disappear into your skin. That's the right color foundation for you.
Yeah, one of the videos you did, you had a great point where you said, because those of us that have been around for a while, we used to always be told to put it on our hands. And you made such
funny?
a great point to put it and have it disappear. And that is such a good tip for all of you out there.
Yes. I mean, our skin of our hands and our face are totally different colors. I've had people tell me the inside of the arm, their thigh, I'm like, okay, how about we deal with the face?
That's because where we're putting it.
It's so funny. It's so funny to me.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit in these last few minutes about summer makeup.
Okay.
So, because, again, I think makeup is great because it's protecting your skin, especially a lot of them have SPF in it. I have a great face sunscreen that I use, but there's a lot of sweat and things going on. So talk about us. What's the best thing that we could do in the summertime for our makeup to be able to have it not hurt our skin and keep us looking fresh?
Well, I think the most important thing that you spoke about is sunscreen. Get a new sunscreen every year. It's super important. And you're going to put it on your neck, your chest, your hands, and your face. And you're going to need to, and your ears, exactly, back of your neck. It's super important to protect your skin because it makes my job as a makeup artist so much easier when someone has good skin, that I don't have to spend a lot of time correcting and fixing. So first of all, start with your skin. Vitamin C serums are really important. Glycolic acid and, retin-A, and then the moisturizer and the sunscreen. So put that on. and you're going to need to reapply it, bring it in your, keep it in your car, in your handbag. Our hands get so much sun damage and it shows our age. So having like a stick foundation, sunscreen on your hands, even when you're driving, is really important. Also on your face, and, a hat and glasses, protect your skin.
Yeah.
If you are outside and you've got your hat and glasses on and you want to look like, somewhat more finished, fill in your lips with liner, lip balm, and some lipstick and lip gloss. That'll show, that'll always look pretty. And just a little bit of, blush, whether it be dry or a liquid blush, a little bit on the cheeks so they look like they have a little color, and, a happy smile and laugh, because that's always going to make you look like a better version of you when you're smiling and laughing.
So in the last thing, we learned a lot about confidence, some makeup, some being your best self-care, taking the best care of yourself. But you, what are you doing to help make the world a better place? Because I know you do more with your pretty girls than just sell makeup. So, what are you doing from a philanthropic
perspective?
Yes.
Well, I have 2 educational funds set up at the Northern Lights School in Oakland, California, for underprivileged children. One after my son, Bo, who passed away, and one after my husband, Ken Flach, who was a professional tennis player, passed away 6 years ago. So I want to honor them, and education and nutrition are incredibly important to me. And so I feel that that is how I go about giving back. I also help start an outdoor classroom and garden named after my son, Bo, in Mill Valley, California. And so I've helped raise money for that. And my children have all helped to raise money for our foundations. There's a golf tournament, a celebrity golf tournament that my son, Ben, plays in every year. All my kids have played in it, but Ben has raised over $200,000. Last October, he raised about 75,000 playing golf at this tournament. And so it all is to benefit these kids. And so I think it's also really great to set the example with children, not just, they see that I put effort into raising funds for underprivileged children. And so I don't just say that, oh, you should help others. They see that I do it and they do it themselves. So I think it's really, I'm very proud of my son, Ben, that he does this every year. And I think it's going to be something that he'll do in some capacity throughout his lifetime.
Yeah. And it just goes back to what we were talking about. People are always watching.
They are.
And it's, for me, it's always important to give back more than I give, or
Definitely
give back more than I get. That's what I meant.
Yes. Well, it feels good to help others. It makes you feel,
it does.
It's nice. It's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. Well, time has flown by, and I could really chat with you a lot longer, but I know that we're going to keep this to my normal time. So we're going to share my screen. If you are just listening, as always, I remind you that you should have had a paper and pencil and taken notes. But if you didn't, go get that now. If you're just listening, though, you can get this from my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, as well as go to findyourleadershipconfidence.com. All right, so the websites, we have 2. The first one is ChristinaFlach.com. That's ChristinaFlach.com. Okay, ChristinaFlach.com. She also has her Pretty Girl Makeup website. Check that out. It's very cool. Her Facebook is her name, Christina Flach Makeup. Instagram is at Christina Flach Makeup. And YouTube is at Christina Flach 1852. I'm going to turn it over to Christina to talk to you about what you find on those 2 websites that might help you in your journey to be the better you.
Well, you can, if you go to ChristinaFlach.com and scroll down, there's a bunch of different videos from California Live and different shows that I've been on and different articles that I've written. And I just think, a happy person is always much more attractive, and people are drawn to that light. So be the light in your world.
That's great. Let's all be the light in our world. And I hope this has helped you all to think about how you are going to be the better version of yourself. And if you have any questions, her videos are actually really fun to watch. So definitely go out and check those out, and definitely check out Pretty Girl Makeup for her products that she has and tips, actually. All right. So Christina, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course.
It's been
Thank you
great
for having
chatting
me.
with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey, and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling, signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.